You don't like me home sitting down, you like?
Watching that, well, no. You watch it, Lucy? Don't you? I will. What do you do? Yeah. Have you got children? Oh, that's fun, daughter. How many children did you have? I know that's a big gap. Yeah, but how much do you social security? Well, wait a minute. You're rich. So, what's the involve a lot with the kids. What, bone frontage, sir? No. Okay. Oh, yeah? One, yeah, well, you know.
But I'm not a privilege. That's not my sister title.
You are busy.
And treasurer of another.
Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Okay. I'll call the meeting for February to order, please. You want to flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we take and have a roll, Madam Clerk?
Councilor Anthony? Here. Supervisor Best?
Here.
Councilor Cavone?
Here.
Councilor Beckel?
Here.
Mr. Lyman, that's the Budget Officer Lyman?
Here.
And Highway Superintendent Marshall. Marshall. I was going to say Ray, and I thought it was more circle.
This is the...
What's that called?
Has everybody read the minutes from the previous meeting?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Have a motion on that, please?
I make a motion we dispense with the reading of the previous minutes and accept them as written.
I'll second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? None opposed, Madam Clerk. Communication petitions. New York State Department of Transportation, January 17th, Mr. Best Supervisor. Thanks for participating in our informal meeting last Thursday evening. I understand there was a productive interchange of information and ideas that should lead to successful completion of this project. Feel free to contact our project manager, Paul Young, at any time you need information. Charlie Monahan, engineer. It's in reference to the Himminsville Bridge on County Route 46. And I'll try to relate to that if I... a moment. United States Senate, Mr. James W. Ben. In order to provide you a complete factual response to the inquiry, I forwarded your letter to the Department of Housing and Urban Development and close their response, which I hope is helpful. Thank you again for your letter, and please don't hesitate to contact me if I can be of assistance in the future. Mr. Monahan, Senator Monahan, it had to do with the fair housing program for rural communities, and we had a concern about whether or not our local community would have to take and participate as an individual community. Mr. Donald Keeney, copy of the letter. There's a copy of a letter sent to Mr. Keeney, county legislator, in requesting some work to be done on the water chestnuts in the area of Route 48, Ox Creek, and the Flugel River. And it was a copy that we just received on it, and by Gordon W. Maycomer. And we have from Niagara Mohawk a scheduled reflection installation of 100-watt high-pressure sodium light at intersection 85 and Route 8, and other lights we've got in the town. I have a copy of a map from the Metropolitan Water Board in reference to the location of the Metropolitan Water Board's transmission project in the town of Oswego. And it shows the distribution lines leading to the town of Granby's boundaries on Rathburn Road and Ridge Road. From the New York State Commission on Cable TV, January 20th. Pleasure to speak to you last week about Granby's franchise renewal process. Now that new channels are presenting you with a formal request, you must within 6 months' time act upon the request. Use a 6-month time frame to identify the cable-related criteria and qualifications of your community and review new channels' past performance. To aid in your renewal process, I've enclosed several copies of our brochure on cable television renewals. If any time during your renewal process you desire assistance of the commission, staff, please do not hesitate to phone Pat Johnson. And we have a letter from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, and it's a New York State hazardous waste site remediation program, and in that program it tells about different places in the area they've done some work. 9 more New York Municipal Insurance Reciprocal, a law enforcement legal liability, a risk management seminar on February 16th in Utica. We belong to the NYMAR group, and that'll be on the 16th in Utica. On April 6th and 7th, we've got a conference in Hotel Syracuse for the New York State Wetlands Forum, sharing information and planning the future on wetlands. Office of Hood County Attorney. Pursuant to Hood County Legislative District Plan, part of your town is included within the County Legislative District number 19, 21, 22, and 23. Because of provision in New York State election law, the election districts in your town must be reconfigured. According to election law, districts may not be partly within or partly without a town, village, or village if it exceeds 5,000 persons, city, ward, or county legislative district boundary. Further, election district may not have more than 950 registered voters if 1 voting machine is used, and not more than 1,150 voters if 2 voting machines are used. Under Section 4-100 of election law, a town may create, consolidate, or divide election districts only if it does so by February 15th of the year preceding the election. Your town must realign its election districts as a result of the county legislative reapportionment. You must do so by town board resolution and file amended maps with the Board of Elections by February 15th of this year. If no action is taken by the town, the county board of election will withdraw the town's election district at the February 15th deadline. Assist you and your board enclosed the proposed reconsideration of election district in your town. Hope you find this memo helpful. Should you have any further questions, feel free to contact either my office or the Board of Elections, Hood County Board of Elections. And that's the run of the communication petitions. Anybody else have any other communication petitions? If not, old business. We have a continuation of the project out here, the proposed Hoffman Ireland transfer to the town of the property on our north boundary. And I talked with Council Hauser, and he advised me he had talked with Mr. Shanley's office. The town board has agreed to accept the dedication of the property as proposed by Mr. Hoffman in Ireland upon the presentation of the proper documentation that's being developed now, right? Okay. We won't be able to act on that because it isn't in front of us. We just don't have the paperwork. I was hoping to have it for tonight. This has been hanging for about 6 to 8 months, and I was hoping to get it done. Last month we appointed Superintendent of Highways Marshall as the delegate to the New York State Association of Towns, and since then Mr. Marshall has decided not to go. And I would take and ask the board to approve the delegate as Supervisor Best, representing County Granby. I'll be down there. We have to send them information of that, and it has to be a resolution for that. So I'd like a resolution to rescind Mr. Marshall's name as delegate and replace him with Mr. Best.
I'll make you want a resolution or a motion?
Motion, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion that we send Mr. Best to the Association of Town meeting down in New York City. I believe it's in February something.
Yeah, 19th through the 22nd or something. Have a second?
Second. I second.
Any discussion? None, being none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? 3 in favor, 1 abstain. Attention to Granby Town Board. I, Earl Hoffman, am interested in an opening on the planning board. Earl Hoffman, RD7, Fulton, New York. We advertised for this position, and we set up a time for interview.
When we have the next work session,
Okay.
we just do it
Can we
that way.
establish one of the, okay. We have in the last month, we were advised that under New York State law, as of February 2nd, the town of Granby has to be part of the Underground Facilities Protection Group. And we provided all the paperwork for them, and we need a resolution to participate in it. There is no charge for any facility that has less than 4,000 connections of water or sewer, and we don't have more than 200 probably in the whole town. So I need a resolution made for that.
We just got it up the other night, remember?
Yeah.
Okay, we want to read this off, Jim?
Yep.
Okay, be it resolved that the town board of Town of Granby does hereby agree to participate in the underground facility protected organization, one call notification system. I so moved. Okay?
Okay.
We can have a second.
I second.
Okay, any other discussion? If none, can I have a roll call vote, Madam Clerk?
I'm sorry, Mr. Bowen?
Yes.
Okay, Mrs. Anthony? Mr. Greco?
Yes.
Mr. Best?
Yes.
All.
Carried. Okay. The town advertised for vacancies, acknowledging the vacancies for town board member, and we had 4 responses. We had Mr. James Poinier, and Mr. Morris Bello, Mr. Robert Paulowitz, what happened to the other one? Denise Matisse. Okay. Have made application. We had interviews the other night, and at this time the board hasn't is not prepared to make a decision. We have the in reference to the letter we got from cable TV, New York State Commission on Cable Television has certain things that we have to look at when we're determining the franchise renewal. And one of the things is soliciting comments from residents of the municipality concerning the performance of the applicant system, consideration of trouble call records maintained by the applicant, consideration of results of all technical performance tests performed by the commission on the system, and consideration of appropriate financial information concerning the applicant. And you have an opportunity to take and form a cable advisory committee to receive any comments or participate with the board to make recommendations to the franchising authority. After you have a review, the franchising authority must conduct a public hearing to give all persons a full opportunity to participate. Following the public hearing, a public session, the franchising authority shall adopt a resolution granting or denying the renewal. If the renewal is denied, the procedures outlined by the federal law must be followed. In addition, a report by the franchising authority saying how it plans to proceed and an explanation as to the base of its decision. I would like to take and see us have a group of 6 or 7 individuals, not members of the board, that we could take and empower to sit down and look at the circumstances as to the new channels franchise in our town. The board could serve in that capacity total if they wanted to, but I would think that with the opportunity for some people that are out there that have had some problems or not having problems, they may convey a different relationship as to our new channel programming. The state of New York right now is considering the consolidation of the New York State Commission on Cable Television into the state FCC, and that is one option that the state may do to try to consolidate on money, reduce the cost in the operation of the state government. The monies that operate and maintain the New York State Commission on Cable Television is fees obtained from the franchise. The new channels pays a certain amount of the dollars they generate to the Cable Commission to keep their staff operating. And that staff does several things. One, it has expertise to communicate on and negotiate on cable franchises. It also reviews and observes whether or not the systems are working properly. They come out and do an actual survey in the area and review the leakage in the systems at the homes as well as in the lines. They also review the records of the commission to determine that you've got your fair share. They also look at the use of the service by the franchise firm and make sure that everybody has a share. You have a lot of options with it. Right now we collect 3% on the cable dollars that come through, and amounts to about $12,000 in our budget. The total amount of money can fluctuate based on what kind of service you have from the franchise. So if the board would consider the option of appointing 5, 6 people to a board to look at that, I would entertain it. And the board members would bring me some names and we do it.
I don't know anybody offhand. The biggest complaint we have is, people want cable and they can't get it because
that's right.
Enough houses per mile.
This young lady that said she was very interested in cable, Matisse, that came in the other night. she'd probably be good on the committee because she's interested in cable.
There's a couple of other people I would advise you, I know it would be.
You know of a couple, I don't know.
I know a couple other people. But one of the things that happens is the extension of the line,
Well, Ralph, you'd be interested.
the extension of the line, or the service in our community is an issue. But I don't get tied down on how you get to that point. I think that if you agree that we should take and appoint one, I'd just like a motion to do
Probably
that.
half a dozen
Okay.
citizens that might be interested in it, I think.
Okay, can we have a motion to provide for, we'll say, 5 individuals to act on this review board?
Are we gonna pay these people?
Nope,
No.
nope. I didn't say compensate.
You didn't take it.
Would 5 be the number you'd like?
That's a good
Okay,
working
5,
number, yeah.
okay,
I'll
Can
make
I-
a motion, we have a
okay,
cable TV committee,
okay,
a 5-member.
I'll second it.
okay.
No
Motion made, second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We could put that one name and get a hold of that girl who was here the other
Yeah,
night.
so, Matisse was interested in
Sign it.
cable.
Sign
and
your name on it.
She'd
You
probably be
second it.
interested in it.
Okay. The deadline for this thing to be finalized is in the franchise is up February 5th of 1996. So,
The trouble is, we're not happy with this particular outfit. I don't think you can get another outfit in here.
well, no, it isn't that at all. It isn't an idea. You don't get into that kind of situation. You're going to say you're going to drop the group you got now or the organization you got now. As much as you have options, you can raise a fee. You can ask for other services. You have other things that you're not doing now because no one ever really got into it. Okay? You may develop some other things to concern yourself with. Okay, that's all I have for old business. Anybody else have any other? Under new business. Soil and water. The harvesting program for 1995. I wish to begin by thanking all those who made last year's program a successful time commitments and in financial support. The 1995 harvest season will soon be here before we know it. There have been some program changes that will directly impact the recipients of the service. The state of New York has not allocated any money in support of the aquatic vegetation control program to the Water Resources Board of the Finger Lakes Association. It is through this avenue by which we administered grant money to keep costs down to local governments last year. Therefore, the Board of Directors of the Soil and Water have approved the 1995 harvesting cost to be $400 per acre. This represents the same total cost per acre as last year, but without any support of state funds. Similar arrangements must be met regarding the transportation equipment, proper location for the disposal of aquatic vegetation, and any major breakdown. Last year we paid, from the town, we paid $200 an acre for the removal of weeds in Ox Creek. And what they're saying here it'll be $400 because there's no money's coming from the Finger Lakes Association.
And the county just bought the machine, too.
Well, the county bought
no money to...
Well, they bought the machine. Well, the money comes from, like, we've got $4,000 budgeted for that area. But our budget item is in Ox Creek itself. The letter we've got that Mr. Keeney received is for properties on the east side of 48 in the Ox Creek mouth. And in the past, we had some comments from people along the Sligo River that had a desire to have something done too. Okay. I don't need any action on that right this moment. I think that it's possible that some of the people up in that area that are interested, we could contact them and advise them that the rate of charge is $400 an acre, and if anybody would like to get as a participant in this package, I don't see why we couldn't take monies and transfer the monies over for that reason.
Yes, we didn't put any money in the budget under that, like we did last year, did
Yeah,
we?
we got 4,000 in there.
Oh, we got 4?
Yeah. Yeah, we have 4,000 in that. That's,
That ain't
what
gonna
that would
do
do. No.
That's it, that's what I'm saying, that ain't gonna cut it, it's a new rate.
Right, so what I'm saying is that we probably should, advise individuals in that area that if they wanna participate in some manner, there's a financial cost that they might be able to alleviate, we could do something maybe. But what we planned was just the areas within the, Ox Creek area on the west side of the road.
And like Rose, remember last year was trouble on the other side too.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, that's what that letter was about too.
How
Okay?
much money, Jim, are we talking about for that project?
Well, we got 4,000.
Above ours.
Well, if they wanted something on the other side of the road, I don't know exactly how much they would get into, but you know, it's $400 an acre, so they would probably have, down through there, you probably got 10, 15 acres, they would have to be in around that mouth of that Ox Creek if those people want to take it out.
Yeah, it'd be nothing to go.
Then it would have to be coordinated with, soil and water, because they're the people that
Do you
are.
think with that new bridge, maybe they won't have so many water chestnuts over there?
And bridge
Could
had
the
nothing to do
water
with it.
be moving more?
No, that had nothing to do with it.
All it did was widen the road.
Yeah.
Didn't change the water.
They
Did
didn't
they
change.
put bigger culverts in there?
No.
Yeah, I think we did, but the idea is it's gonna make more water chestnuts on both sides. The whole thing's gonna be redone.
Village of Hannibal, the Hannibal area joint use meeting, was held the 23rd of 1995. The Recreation Director gave a brief summary of the project, and was asking for an increase from $687.84 in town of Granby to $791.92 for the year. Mr. Cavone went out and conversed with them. He advised us about that.
Well, our share, they want $108, and our share would be like $54 of it. But if the county isn't going to reimburse us for the other 54, it would be up to the town board to okay either the 108 or the 54, whatever you think, you know, is justified. And if you don't want it, we can hold it over till next year.
If they wanted the increase, why didn't they come to us last fall?
I don't know why.
I don't know why.
Well, what I did was I checked with the youth bureau yesterday, and Kathy Alino advised me that their funds were secured, so they don't have the $54 matching fund that would come to us on it. Okay, and I don't think the Hannibal share is available to them either if they wanted to increase it for the Hannibal group. But I just know that this is part of a program study years ago because of the Hannibal School District children were provided the service through the Hannibal Village in the Hannibal town, so the town of Granby got involved with it. It may or may not justify an increase, but right this moment, we didn't have the monies projected in the budget for 1990.
All they're asking for
Five.
is $54?
Well, they're asking for $108.
$108.
Yeah, but Tony, we had to work
50% reimbursement is.
I know. The thing is,
But didn't you say there was somewhere between 30 to 50 children participating in this thing?
well, when
No,
it started out, in 1987, they had 450 kids in this program. And in 1995, they're projecting 600.
Okay.
Now, all their equipment is old. They really don't have any. And
What is $100?
Okay, but go ahead. You're saying equipment's old.
They need some money for equipment, and they need extra money because of the increase in enrollment. So, I mean, you know, it's up to us. You want to give them $100 or $50 or...
It's a good thing for the youth. Now, what's $100?
There are quite a few Granby kids
How
that
many
do
kids
participate.
did you say there are?
600.
Yeah, but how many out of Granby? Did you say about 30 to 40 from
Yeah,
Granby?
nice.
I would imagine, yes.
Oh, yeah, more than that.
More than that. More than that.
Yeah, more than that. This is out of the Hannibal Youth Bureau. The kids come out of school and they go right out there and play
Well,
t-ball.
I just thought because it's a youth and it's such a high participation.
I'm for giving it.
Yeah, and I am
Mr.
too.
Hubbard, I'm
Whether
for
it's
giving it
$54 or...
$100.
Mr. Hubbard, no, the Hubbard that I'm talking about is over here at Marcia Hubbard.
I know, but
If you
Well,
whether it's
I
50.
know it's
We thought, the other night, we thought it'd be 54, Jeff.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because if they had the reimbursement.
It's a youth program, it's good for the, the kids, what's $100?
That's the way it is.
Wait a minute, we have to take the money from someplace, we have to
Take
take
it
it
out of my check next month and I'll donate it.
Okay. You're gonna make a motion to, are you gonna make a motion?
You gotta appropriate everything you wanna spend,
Right.
whether it's
So that's
$1
where
or $100 or whatever.
What's it, $108 or
100.
54?
108, you either give them 108 or 54. Because 54 was gonna be our share.
Well, let's give them 54 if that's our share, and let them pay
Well,
their.
no, our share was gonna be 100, the only problem you had was that you didn't have the state aid for it.
See, our share was gonna be $108, but the county was gonna give us half of that.
Yeah, but you gotta appropriate the whole thing,
Yeah, you gotta appropriate the whole thing.
okay?
Well, they aren't gonna give you 50%.
No, I know, so it's gonna cost you the,
Motion to put this in?
That's correct, you've changed the budget.
Okay.
You need a motion to do that.
But Bob, we got some money in there for the,
haven't we
We
got
have a
some?
contingent fund, I mean, there's all
no,
kinds of
right,
ways.
don't we have some money
Well,
in
yeah,
that particular
What is that,
part of the
fantastic?
budget? I don't-
$688.
What's that fantastic?
We've
we
wasted
deal
more
in-
money than that.
Slush fund?
No, the contingent fund.
The Hannibal program has been funded for 20 years at about $688.
I think we ought to give them $108.
Now you're asking for an increase to that, and it's your decision if you wanna do
Yes.
it. And
Well, that's the number you had in your book, $108.
$108 and 24 cents.
deal in whole numbers.
$108.
All those kids will enjoy it, I'm for it.
I got a motion made to provide $108 for the Hannibal Youth Program, for 1995.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, any other discussion?
No, that's fine.
Okay, no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Patience, Rose, patience.
You wanna pay for this, or else take it out of contingency?
Take it out of my monthly check, take it out of my monthly check, I don't care, I'll donate it.
No, hold on.
I'll transfer.
I'll donate it.
Here we go, we got, dealer license renewal, application of dealer license, 1995, Ronald Kukowski, doing business as Kukowski's Automotive Sales, Hannibal Street, Fulton, New York, age of applicant 44, citizens U.S. Have you been convicted of a felony? No. Misdemeanor? No. Previous experience in business, 23 years. Operated at 857 Hannibal Street, Fulton, New York. Type of business: sale, repair, storage, and dismantling of automobiles and trucks. Sale of automobiles and trucks, sales of parts and scraps from automobiles and trucks. Nature of material you intend to handle, automotive related. Number of employees you intend to engage, none. Name and address of owners of land you intend to occupy is Ron F. Kukowski, 859 Hannibal Street. Location of land you intend to occupy and proposed business activity, 857, 859 Hannibal Street. Number of acres, 4.5. I do hereby agree if granted license applies where to conduct this business activity pursuant to regulation contained in the licensing regulation ordinance under which this application is made, 1/22/95, Ronald Kukowski. Deposit was made in $15 for the license, and it was approved by Constable Anthony on January 25th, 1995. Can I have a motion to approve this application for a dealer's license?
I'll make a motion
And I'll second.
to renew Kuskowski's dealership.
Motion made and second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed unanimously. We received a letter from the Department of Public Works in Oswego to the town superintendent, supervisors, village superintendent, mayor, city superintendents, commissioner, and mayors, and superintendent of the town of Granby. As you know, it's been past practice for the Fluid County Department of Public Works to be available to assist your municipality with various construction and maintenance problems. Over the years, we have been able to pave quite a few town roads, perform doors of work, tree work, and loan out equipment as needed. All this and still maintain our 502 miles of road and 114 bridges. By the beginning of the statement, you can tell I've got a problem. The voters of Fluid County, like the voters all over this country, are demanding all forms of government become smaller. Even though we believe we didn't have any fat anywhere, the legislature has cut our budget in order to cut any possible fat. Over a 2-year period, my budget for equipment purchase has been reduced $1.3 million and overtime has been cut 20%. This will make it very difficult to keep up with our own maintenance and recreation, reconstruction, and our aging fleet of equipment will not be replaced as often as it once was. Unfortunately, because of these budget cuts, the working relationship we once had will have to come to an end. I have no choice but to cut aid to other municipalities in the county. The county will not be able to assist you in reconstruction or maintenance projects. I hope this cutback is only temporary and we'll be able to continue the working relationship one had. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, Donald F. Morey, Superintendent of Highway for the County of Oswego. The town requested Legislator Keeney to provide us some information, if you would.
Yes.
Could you do that for us, Don?
Yeah, I touched base with Don Maury right after that letter was received, and Ray Marshall and I had talked. The committee meets and they have decided to revert back to assisting the towns with a couple of exceptions. Because of the age of the bituminous mix plant and the condition it is in, they are not going to be selling or supplying bituminous mix to the towns. You're going to have to go out and buy it through either Norm or somebody else. The other situation is they want to provide an operator which the town would have to pay for on specialized equipment. If the town buys bituminous mix, the county will come in and lay it for you, and that's still a go as far as that goes. But as far as being able to get a hold of a stone crusher, I've talked to Ray about that, and that equipment is going to be made available, the dozers, the stone crushers, and so forth. So it was kind of a reaction to the bottom line, but now things are being worked out such that the monies are going to be available for the public works so that we have essential services.
Well, I thank you. The question that arose when we got this letter and caused a lot of people to do some activity was the fact that to provide road service in the town of Granby, we have town roads, county road, and highway roads, and obviously the three units of government responsible have to work together on them. And one of the problems we have is if we attempt to go out and buy a large machine, a dozer, we'll say, to do our pile our sand or do something like that, it doesn't make sense. We'd have to put a lot of money in it. And it become a very critical thing as far as the towns are concerned. I'll just advise you that of the circumstance the town supervisor got into, because when he started talking about it, we didn't budget any money for anything unusual for 1995.
Well, that was what was taken into consideration. The impact of that decision that you were sent that letter which addressed that they were just basically going to cut everybody off is such that nobody was prepared really budgetary-wise to withstand that type of withdrawal by the county. And it has been put back into place with the two conditions that I'm aware of, and that is you will not be able to get bituminous mix from the county, okay, and that you'll have to reimburse the county if they provide a specialized operator for equipment that requires, skill and training.
Yeah, fair enough. I just want to the Association of Supervisors, and I can refer to the Superintendent's Association also. We met last night about this. Very concerned, only because of the fact that we're all talking about the same taxpayers' dollars, and just the idea that in the process of developing a budget, we're very concerned. If we're going to do something, we'd certainly like to be participants in the decision-making process. That was the biggest problem we had.
That letter was a surprise to a lot of people.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
How much does the county charge us a ton for that blacktop?
No, they would put it all down on the ground for you for, I think it was $24 a
Yeah, they're around $20 a ton.
Yeah.
They would put it down for you
to
for
be all
that?
finished, yeah.
They'll still put it down for you, but you've got to buy it.
Because they don't have the batch plant to produce it.
They want to try to extend the life of that batch plant as long as possible. It is not a cheap operation to replace. And there's been a lot of question whether that should even exist within the realm of the county operation. Does it compete with private industry?
Have you got any idea what it costs to buy a blacktop from a private individual?
there was a cost analysis done between Northern and a few other suppliers, and it looked as if, from the information I received, it was competitive for the county to produce bituminous mix.
It was what?
Competitive for the county to produce the bituminous mix.
Yeah, and because the price included, the county's price included application on the ground
That's
finish.
right. That's
And
right.
the product from the other suppliers was like $24 a ton, for the material. It wasn't anything to do with application.
Right.
Okay, well, thank you. We got fuel bids for 1995. We have a bid from Glider Oil Company.
Wow, what kind of cost?
That's right.
Your cost of low sulfur diesel would be based on our cost, day of delivery from Amana Hess, Syracuse, New York terminal plus 8.8 cents per gallon. Today's cost would be 0.6178. It'd be 62 cents a gallon.
Do we pay tax, Jim?
No.
What's this outfit here?
This is Marbito Fuel Group. Marbito Fuel Group would like to offer the town of Granby one of the following pricing options. Supply the town of Granby with number 2 fuel oil for a fluctuating price of 0.5385 per gallon. This price will fluctuate accordingly to the posted rack price at Mobile Oil Corporation, which is located in Syracuse. The Marbito Fuel Group proposes to supply the town of Granby with number 2 fuel oil for a firm price quote of 5.5695 per gallon. This quote would remain firm for the term of the contract. Please be advised if the town of Granby chooses to accept option 2 firm quote, the Marbito Fuel Group must be notified within 5 days of bid opening. Joseph P. Marbito. And the non-collusion certificate.
He wants what, 56 cents a gallon, rounded out? Is that what
He wants 57. No, he wants just under 6 cents a gallon on a firm price, and 5.5 cents, just under 5.5 cents on a fluctuating price. Hester or Glider Company would want 8 cents per gallon. Day of delivery. I would say that we ought to let Ray take a look at these and give us an opinion so we can get back to it, okay? Have them when you're done, Ray. Cheaper would be by 2 cents or so. 2 cents. Okay. Any other new business? Pardon?
Election district.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't I answer it again on my bottom?
What
here?
did I tell you?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I didn't mark it down on mine. Everybody else all lined up on it. Due to the fact that the county legislative districts are going to be changed, or the county legislative district is going to be developed in our town. Right now we have 4 districts. We have District 1, which is between from the city of Fulton going south to the county line between the river and Route 55. We have District 2 and 4, which is 2 is on the west side of Route 8 from the Minetto Town line to Granby Center approximately. And District 4 is from the Minetto Town line on the east side of Route 8 to Granby Center approximately. And then District 3 is from the peat bed road, the former peat bed road on the south to the town line to the north, to the peat bed road on the north and the town line on the south at Life Center Town Line. We have to come up with a change, and the suggested change would be to consolidate District 2 and 4 into one district, create a District 5 to handle the Hanley Road, Dexterville, Route 3 area. A District 6 would handle the 85 to Minetto Town line and the Phillips Road, Rathburn Road area, bounded on the east by Route 8. District 3 would be increased to take the area between the railroad track on the east and the Guernsey Road on the west. It would reduce the area in District 1 from the railroad track to the river. The District 1 district right now has 1,148 voters. District 2 has 641. District 3 has 653. And District 4 has 871. The consolidation of 2 and 4 would probably end up with about 1,100 people in it. The consolidation of 2 and 4 would end up with 1,148 people in it. District 1 would have a reduction probably in the neighborhood of 300 people. So they would probably have around 800 population in District 1. That would go from the city line to the county line to the south. The voting places would be, for District 1 would be at the Wilcox Fire Station. The District 2 voting place would be a consolidation of 2 and 4 would be at the Fire Hall in Granby. District 3 would be at the Bowens Corners area at the Town Hall here. And District 4 would be at the Granby Center Fire District. And District 6 would be at the Granby Center Fire District, because they're both relative to that district, to that fire station. It would end up using one vote machine for District 4 and one vote machine for District 5, the new District 5 we would have. We meet the guidelines that we have to work under, in that there would be 2 vote machines for the population in the new District 2. There'd be 2 vote machines in District 1. There'd be 2 vote machines in District 3, and there would be 1 vote machine in the 4 district and 1 vote machine in the 5th district. Again, both those smaller districts would only have possibly 150, 200 voters in them. I don't know the exact number because we don't have a census on them yet. Our other alternative was to take and provide the purchase of 2 new voting machines to handle those areas, but that doesn't look like that justified it at this time.
Jim, whose idea was it
To do what?
to draw these districts up like that?
Well, what we had was, we had 4 districts. And we could have 6 districts if we wanted them. The districts are relative to the redistricting for legislative districts. They have nothing to do with the town board members or the town clerk, the town highway, or the town supervisor. or any other town officer.
You're doing away with legislators, huh?
But
Well-
why did they wanna change it?
They,
What was
because the law says you can't have a legislative district that would pass the boundary of election district of the town. We are, as a town, we have certain area. The representative for this district, and I can't tell you the exact numbers because I'm not sure the numbers on, but we'll say District 19, the representative from that would not be all contained within the town of Granby. So you may have another township or part of the city that would be voting for that legislator. So to make it so that you could count the votes, then the legislative district would be the ruling district as far as names on the ballot. You have to have, because by state law, you cannot have a district go over your boundary in our town.
What you want, how many legislators, we're gonna end up
They're
with
gonna
three?
reduce 36, they're gonna reduce from 36 legislators to 25.
Yeah, but we're gonna end up having 3 in the town of Granby representing us.
We're gonna have 4.
4, excuse me.
Parts of our town will be represented in some manner by 4 legislators.
4, right. We got better than ever, right?
But anyway,
Yeah,
what
you're
the problem you have is, the only problem I saw in this whole bit was the, between Route 55 and the railroad track, that creates a change in the voters in that area that would come to the Bowens Corners area for the vote. Now, this is for the vote of 1995. 2 years from now, there would be a vote, that'd be 1997. 2 years after that, be another vote, it'd be 1999. The following year, they would take a vote. The census would probably be involved in this, and you may have a larger, if your growth is gone, they may redistrict these things. You may determine in the meantime you need more machines. If you have to buy more machines, I'll find out the cost of those on this thing this week, next week or 2 weeks from now.
Let me have you on that.
You mean that,
Jim?
Jim, the state dictated this?
No,
The
the state,
county, right?
the county, no, the people of Oswego County voted to have 25 legislators with a 4,500 number. 4,500, good enough? 4,500 people. We have 7,000 people in our town. So because we have that many, we have to subdivide down to meet the number of 4,500. To do that, they took parts of our town and give it to different districts to meet that 4,500 average. Now, because they did that, the town has 2 concerns. One is we will take and have to have more poll workers because we're going to have 2 more districts, or 1 more district, I'm sorry, 1 more district. Get them more poll workers. We may or may not have to invest in some new voting machines. That's primarily the only change we'll have, because we use the same voting places we've got. So this has to be acted on by us by the 15th, or it will be done by the county the day after that. I would propose that we consolidate 2 and 4 and make that 1 district.
Like if it doesn't work out, we can always change it next time around. So
Yeah.
We've always been 2 and 4, 1. 2 and 4 combined,
Well, yes, but now we're going to take and now you're going to have, this is going to be 1 district now. You're going to have 1, 2 is going to be both these districts,
I see.
3 is this one, 4 is this one, and 5 is that
Okay.
one. Okay?
'Cause I
Strictly
always
for the county legislature that's involved, basically.
Well, it affects,
Well, for voting for everybody, but
it affects the individual. The biggest area you're going to have an impact is down here
Down in 3.
in District 1, where you'll take and move people from County Line and South Granby Road be coming to Town Hall instead of
the worst problem is to get the public to know how we're gonna get that word out. That'll be the worst.
Well,
problem.
that's part of the responsibility of the Board of Elections too. So, but mainly we have to establish this district layout. Is everybody
Seems like
receptive of?
they made it awful complicated.
Well, when I asked earlier,
Just for this, Tony, just for this little number 3 here,
Yeah.
if you don't go with this, we have to, purchase 2 new voting
Yeah,
machines.
I know that,
So,
I know.
that little group of people, how many is in this?
well, right now we got 641. If we take 300 off in that, we're gonna have 1,000 people.
Instead of going over to Wilcox Road, they'll have to come here to vote.
See, you could make this another district if you wanted to. The problem is you've got to buy machines
Yeah, I know.
to take and sell it
I
out.
think
The thing is, if we can try to we got to educate the vote, that's gonna be the biggest problem somehow, to let them know that the people's gotta switch.
Well, that'll
It's gonna be
happen.
pretty
And
confusing.
it's gonna be confusing. It'll be confusing, but that's not our job. Our job is to get the district lined up. Okay,
All right,
everybody agreed with 5 districts. We'll consolidate 2 and 4.
all right, 2 and 4
Okay.
consolidated.
Okay. And we'll reduce the number 1 to fit the legislative district that's supposed to be in that area. And 3 will encompass the area between 55 and the railroad track.
Put together. Okay, so we got a motion, or?
Yep. Got a motion.
All right, how do you wanna read this off here? I make a motion,
That we
consolidate?
yeah,
I'll make a
consolidate.
motion, we consolidate 2 and 4,
Right.
and what other we gotta have here?
And reduce the district run as the plan shows. District 1 would be the railroad track on the west
Okay, you got it.
and the river on the east.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see that here.
And the District 3 would encompass from Deep Bed Road on the north to the Onondaga line on the south,
Right.
and from Guernsey Road on the west to the railroad track on the east.
Okay. And we gotta mention 5 up here now?
5 would be, well, it'd be number 4. It would be Dexterville area would be number 4. It would be from the Muck Road,
To the
the
Hanley.
Route 3, Route 3 on the north, New York State Route 3 on the north, Hanley Road on the east, Finney Road on the south, and the town line on the south. And the Muck Drive is, that stops up there, so, just encompasses whoever's in that area. Okay, and then they would be the area, number 5 district would be from the town line on the north and County Route 85 on the south, and Rathburn Road on the west and County Route 8 on the east.
You got all this east and north now, I don't get all that down, that's fine.
That's all right. Well, it's the only way you're gonna be able to
Yeah, but
it. We'll work it out with this, and we'll send down a map showing them what we're gonna do. Okay, got a motion for it, can I have a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Any more discussion on it? If there is none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed, Madam Clerk.
For her, Jim, she could just say per attached sketch.
Oh, yeah,
for the
right, when she
town
gets
clerk.
all done, she's got that.
She's been writing away though like a champ.
She's had that on all day. Okay? Okay,
What are we gonna do with the fuel bids? Oh, you wanna wait and hold on?
he's gonna give us a comment, we'll take him, I'll get together with you. We can,
All right.
we can make that. He's gonna make it
Who did we have before, Glider?
Glider, yeah.
Yeah, but Maribito put out a nice professional looking bid, got everything broken down there.
Well, professionalism is quality, I agree.
Cheaper, too.
Okay.
Cheaper too, right.
Don, did you have any more you wanted to report on? Just before I continue? Okay. All right.
Can I say something to Don? I wanna acknowledge that, he is proposing tax relief for the elderly. And I just can't imagine why the county hasn't adopted that plan before for the senior citizens and the people below the poverty level. I think it's a heck of a good idea.
We're still working on it, Tony.
Well, I think it's a great thing because, I mean, a little town like us can do it. I think they can do it.
I think we turn in a few of the cards at the county level, we could probably do it.
Well, if they have any, any compassion for people that are on fixed incomes, they would look at that very seriously, and I think they should. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, he's in Florida right now. Zoning officer in here. Dog control officer, let me see, I see paper, she says. Well, where is the paper? Must be in here someplace. Do you see my Hobby Home?
I didn't see you go by that one. I've watched you go by all of them, but I didn't see that one.
It wasn't there.
I don't think it was, because I watched it turn.
Yeah, okay. All right.
That's all right.
Building administration, we had a review by what am I thinking of? The people from Cortland who do we had a review by
Inland, you're talking about?
Atlantic Inland, yeah.
Atlantic Inland.
And we had a light over there, the building was off, we gotta do that, and a light panel's gotta be replaced over there. Otherwise, we're all set, I guess, from what I saw. There's nothing else going on with the building here as far as I know.
You've been over since we cleaned the house over there?
Yes.
You got any complaints or anything?
I haven't heard one word, no.
You ought to knock it out.
The highway, department went over and removed some of the material we had in our storage area, and
There's 3 or 4 items that we didn't quite get throw away, but we got them out, and if nobody hollers, they'll go. But we didn't have any.
okay. But anyway, they cleaned out most of the stuff that was there to be, they could go. And did a good job.
Thermostat. Did you look at that thermostat on the west wall? Remember the one you
Yeah,
told me about?
yeah. I've got to take and go to shut that down, but I got to be sure that they use it.
That's
I know, yeah. Youth and recreation, Tony?
Next Saturday, February 18th, we're going to start our swim and gym program for the kids in the town of Granby, and it's going to be on Saturdays, 9:30 to 11. And
For how many weeks, Tony?
we're going to have a 9-week session this time, and then in the fall we're going to go to 11, because this program started before we got the schedules all made out, and before they gave me an answer down there. So we're going to have to go with a 9-week session.
This Saturday?
Starting next Saturday, 18th.
18th.
17.
18th. 17th? Saturday?
Yeah, that's a new calendar.
All right, it'll be the 17th.
What time?
9:30 to 11.
And there's an age limit, right?
Yeah, they're from 6 to 14, I think, isn't it, Jim?
No, it's the blue Saturday. I can't see it. Then
It's, no, the
Saturday?
blue is Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah, so Saturday's the 17th.
Okay.
You know, I'd like to see all the, you know, kids from,
All the blues are Sunday.
if you know anybody that could participate, Rosie?
Yes.
would be
Okay.
Don't?
Now, wait a minute, I'm wrong, which day?
I think it's the 18th.
He's right. What is this? This is the way it's counted. He's right, the blue, you're right.
18.
Sorry.
It's the 18th. huh?
18th.
I'm not always wrong.
All right,
No, I didn't. I just asked what day. Don't blame that on me.
planning board, Lyle, do you have anything you want to bring up about them?
Nothing particular.
Okay,
Oh, you want mine?
I'm going to get you in a minute.
All right.
Assessors? Okay. Historian, we haven't got any going. Senior citizens?
Oh, I was asked by the seniors to look into this, nutrition system that they were going to do away with. I guess, Mr. Keeney, you know about that.
Yes.
They were going to try to do away with the nutrition system or combine it with somebody, the SNAP, the SNAP.
Yes.
So I talked to Mrs. Robbins, Office of the Aging, yesterday, and the day before she was notified that they are going to continue it. They are not going to remove it from the seniors.
That's correct.
Which is a very, very good thing, because, that would have been bad if they took the SNAP away from these old people. And we've been trying to raise money for the seniors in Granby for their, recreation. So Bill Summers and I got together and we're putting on a chicken barbecue for the seniors in Granby on February 25th. And all the proceeds are going to the recreation for the senior, Granby seniors for their trips and all. And it's going to be at Bodie's February 25th from 1 to 5. And they're all happy about it.
And tickets available, right?
Yes, tickets are available. All the money we take in is going
Even
to-
at the bar?
No.
Not the bar?
No, the chicken dinner. That has
I was
nothing.
just wondering, because I already bought a couple of things.
I'm glad, Tony. I'll see you there.
You there?
That's a good.
Okay, girl.
Well,
Okay.
Jim, that program she was saying they're gonna do, is that the county program? I thought the county reinstituted it.
No,
It's SNAP for seniors nutrition program.
Yeah, SNAP.
they were talking about taking it away
Yeah,
from
but
them.
which one is she talking about? The county one or the federal one? There's a federal and a county. Contact John,
No,
excuse me.
one is Meals on Wheels, and the
No,
other
but
one is
the
SNAP.
county gives us money for SNAP, all right?
Not us.
No.
So not us, don't they give it to the
They
seniors?
were,
No.
they were talking
They
about,
provide a service.
they were talking to do away with it, Vince, and there's so many people that are shut-ins that need that.
I know, but I thought the county was reinstituting it. No. No? No.
I don't know,
They didn't drop it. They were talking about maybe dropping it.
Okay.
Okay.
I wonder
they
why
didn't
they
do it.
want to push all the old people out, I don't know.
Highway superintendent.
We got a program that's swim and gym for the youth here. How about a swim and gym for us older people here?
How's your heart? How's your heart?
No, I don't really have it.
We haven't got enough insurance to cover it, right?
Okay, well, you got it.
I don't have anything.
Okay.
No major breakdown.
Okay. Bob?
Okay, Kathy and I agreed on 94 cash balances for the town. I've prepared the draft of the 94 annual report, and as of yesterday, or this morning, it was typed, so I'll proof that. I have copies printed this next week, and they'll be available here at the town hall for anybody that's interested. There's about 90 pages of stuff in there that we have to go through, but in general, the town is very good financially. I've talked to Jim last month about some things that we need to just keep our eye on, and he and I have a current dialogue ongoing on that. But really, we're in pretty good shape, and we did reduce the general and highway tax to the town people for 1995. We've done pretty good so far this year. We've got the major fund taxes have already been received, and I'm sure they've been invested. So we'll be getting some more interest on that as we progress through the year. We won't know any impact on our town as far as money from the state is concerned. We're going to have to go through the same game plan that we always do every year as far as the state is concerned, because we don't know what they're going to do to us until they pass the state budget. We haven't heard that they aren't going to give us projected money, but we won't know until that budget is passed. The only hiccup we have coming this year is in the Water District North. The hydrants that were replaced last fall have got to be paid for, and Jim is negotiating with the city of Fulton to see that they get some of their money. Right now, if we were to pay them all, we wouldn't have any money left in the North District account at all, and we're not hopefully not going to let that happen. So right now, that's our only hiccup in what we're doing for the town.
Okay. The only I got it. I was in to a meeting of the resolution committee for the state association today, and there's some interesting things that different parts of the state gets involved with. The state of New York has a legislation that was put in place last year concerning raffles. Any raffles would have to be game of chance, and you'd have to buy a permit from the town clerk for that. The Associated Towns trying to make that a $25,000 bottom line that you'd have to take and be involved with before you had to get a permit. Excuse me. It's even down to almost the point that 50-50 drawings we take and have to be reported. Some things we're doing on binding arbitration. New York City has a situation where binding arbitration has to take into account the ability to pay by the city. The rest of the state doesn't have that benefit, so they're working on that. Cable Commission, they're talking about consolidating that with a different group. The Associated Towns talking about maintaining that. They had 2 or 3 things that they put off because they weren't going to be approved by the resolution committee. And we got out of there, we got about 15 things that's going to be on the resolutions down there. One of the things that's been going on for a long time is WIX reform. Opportunity to see if they can get rid of that WIX program, because on any building project you have to have 4 contractors, and it has to take and it creates a problem. If they could reduce that problem, they would take and save local governments a lot of money. In fact, it's on a $200,000 or $500,000 project, you wouldn't have to be concerned about having 4 contractors in it. State aid for code enforcement. The Associated Towns we're attempting to get that money back. It comes out of the insurance companies. It's put in the general fund of the state of New York, and we take and pay for the original code enforcement that was mandated by the state on the towns, that used to be funded by the state, and now we pay about $2,100 a year for it. Trying to get some more money from the courts, not to raise the surcharges in the courts, but to provide more money out of that money that is developed to the courts to be retained by local government. What do we get, about $12,000 a year from that? And like to bump that up about to $15,000 we could. Several little items in there, but nothing going to take up your time with them.
You talk about 50-50 raffles, and they're trying to, what you just said. Can you ever find out all this lottery money, if we're on one of your trips, find out all this big lottery money that we're supposed to get a break on? School taxes and all this, where does all this lottery money go into?
It goes to
big
New York,
lottery money.
Rosie, it goes to New York City. That's why they were in almost
On one of your
bankrupt.
trips, find out.
I will.
Get all these figures for me.
There'll probably be some there with lotto tickets and all that, and where the money's going. That's the best I can do on that.
All this big
I'll ask.
lottery money, they're supposed to have.
They give a report, Rosie. They give a report of what they do with it, whether it's fair or not.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jim, how about a report from the steering committee? We got any?
No.
What's happened?
Well, the thing was turned over to our attorney to massage the amendment that we came up with.
I'd like to know where it's
I believe he's working on it still.
Have you come up with anything, Wally?
Well, the question of how far the steering committee wants me to go with it, but I'm not going to get into everything that I could get into, otherwise we end up redoing the whole ordinance. So
we don't want to do
I'm going
that.
to try to. I'm trying to just use my own judgment and change the things that I think the steering committee would want me to change, and then I've gone through about 4 drafts so far, and I'll try to get something out there. And there's still going to be some problems even when I have a final rough draft, because there's still some unanswered questions, but that's I'd rather do it, be careful, and just try to minimize anything being overlooked.
You think anything constructive will come out of it?
I hope so.
Contenders.
You hope so?
What he said. I hope so too. Thanks, Wally.
Can I have any other business? Out of the town bills, the general fund, $11,310.07, and highway fund, $2,750.58.
I'll make a motion to pay general fund $11,310.07, highway fund $2,760.68.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second to pay the general fund and the highway fund. Any discussion? No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed. Madam Clerk. Date of next meeting is March 8th, 1995, 7:30. We'll schedule a work session. I'll get together when I can find a time that's convenient for you.
Towards the end of the
It'll
month,
probably be the end of the month, first part of the month, of March, okay?
Around the 1st of March.
Yeah.
That's not definite yet, though, right?
No, I'll get in touch with you.
Yeah, we want to bring in that guy in case you want to.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody have any comments?
Who owns the ground that you're talking about, getting rid of the seaweed now?
Who owns the ground? That is the state of New York right away in there. That's a floodplain.
Who owns the ground?
I can't tell you. I don't know offhand, Ralph, who owns the land underneath that. I don't know. Let me find out. I think that was I thought they bought the easement in there, but I don't know. The state of New York Barge Canal took and made the flood area.
Well, why have we got to take the weeds off in the state's ground or the individual's ground?
Well, that's a good question. We started this.
I got 200 acres that's got weeds on it too, you know?
I know. You want this thing here? You got the one that needs floating, or just?
Well, on Creek there,
Yeah.
that's part of that, and that's Mill Creek, they've got some weeds in, but I'm
Yeah.
talking about the upland.
I know. I understand. I understand. That was the discussion we got into originally when we started this thing as to whether or not
Some
we
of
would
that
do
went
it.
to the side of the creek, some of it went to the high water mark, but I
Yeah.
don't know. That down there, I would assume probably the side water mark, I'm not sure.
I don't. But yeah, I know. I
Well,
understand.
you're a socialist.
Wow, we have both. We got into the program because of the fact that the first year or two that was done, they did the first year or something like that. They did it for nothing, and it was really crowded up through there. We budgeted. The circumstances is a full cost now to take it out if we do it. We've got a budget for that. Okay. Let me find out if we have any idea who owns land under it. But other than that,
Well, I
we
would
budget.
think no more than fair, perhaps, as matching funds or something, you know, for Granby to pay, I'm talking to the property owner.
Yeah.
I'm not talking.
Yep.
to
Yeah.
We tried to get the property owners involved over there to have a fundraiser and bring up some money for it.
It's like going out and cutting a field of hay. The damn thing's gonna grow up again. If they're gonna do it, why don't they kill them?
I know.
Well,
They
yeah.
was talking about, we had some specialists here at that meeting, Tony, and they said that there was some kind of,
Spray, isn't it?
something that you put in there, and
Well, certainly there is.
But the problem they had was.
Two or three of them.
But the problem they had was whether DEC allowed them if they could do it, and they got something to do with the bass fishing and all that.
I talked to John D. Howard, and the DEC does not allow that particular herbicide to be utilized in our state.
Yeah.
That all depends on which one you're talking about.
well, who was the guy to come and talk to us? He was from the state.
One of them might use it on the fish.
Well, John Hunter was one of them. I don't know. I'll look into see what option we have on that.
It's a lost cause, because every year they're,
That same gentleman came and talked to us,
It's like
Mr.
mowing a
Keeley.
meadow. You know, you cut it down, it's gonna go back up again.
Well, the concept was when they first started with if they took and continued removing it, they would have a chance to knock it down, so maybe get it down to some control system. But right now, it's coming back just as heavy or I won't say, I can't say coming back as heavy, but it come back heavy last year.
After being caught, it will come back heavier
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah.
If it had never been caught, it wouldn't grow to the road by being chopped off.
Didn't the county buy the machine, Jim?
Yeah.
Well, why don't they do it?
Well, they are doing it. They're doing it. They're charging the town. They're charging for the service of doing it. Okay, that was the original deal. They would take and provide a machine, and the cost of doing the harvesting would pay for the cost of the machine. So the problem you've got is you've got to either develop a district, a weed harvesting district. You've got to get people over there interested in contributing for it, or you're going to pay for it out of general, or you're not going to pay for it at all and not do it.
And our highway gets involved carrying it away, right, Ray?
Yeah.
They carry it away.
It's a pretty big job, isn't it, Ray?
Goes on for almost 2 weeks, right, Ray? It's about 2 weeks.
Well, next year, one time they're gonna use it for fertilizer,
Yeah.
and that'll all.
Well, they did take some, but the hauling, you get into the same thing. It has to go on the ground. It has to be someplace nearby. Okay. Anybody else? Yeah.
At the last meeting, I think you brought up about the town was looking into a proposed gas line up to the town hall there.
I haven't heard anything from Nagamawak yet. I didn't get a chance to talk to her this week. I thought I'd be able to take and talk to another Hubbard.
Another Hubbard.
They're not to get bad. So I'll tell you what, she's got this.
They don't all give you a hard time either.
Well, listen, here ain't she hasn't showed up yet, Ralph. But anyway, no, but that's still a go. I haven't any change as far as I know. They just haven't come out and talked to me yet. Hopefully, they've taken a survey.
I see in the paper, the Valley News, where this convenience store down in Granby Center, there's a ZBA meeting for a special use permit. Now, is that permit issued before the building is built?
Well, the circumstances is that what they did was they took down the building was there, okay, and normally that would be issued before the building is built. The
Foundation is built.
Yeah, they put the foundation in, but the planning board met on doesn't have a problem as far as I understand. I won't get into that.
One stipulation here, to clarify, the building was to be taken down to the second tier block
Yeah.
and built from the second tier block, the original foundation.
Yeah.
Okay, so the footer would be there if the building's been demolished.
Yeah.
It's not something that
Well, what they did, Lyle, was they went in, they put a complete pad down and brought the 2 blocks up. They took the thing right down to ground level.
They left the 2
Brought the-
blocks up. They left the 2 blocks up, and they were too
blocks
Yeah.
cracked.
Yep. Yes, they did. Okay.
They were
did.
too deteriorated, and they had to knock them down, and they put
Okay.
They poured a pad completely over. Everything was there, in same boundaries.
Yeah.
They just built the 2 new blocks up on it because they had too high to get around it. But yes, you're right. And they scheduled a meeting the 25th.
15.
No, they had a meeting the 25th of,
Oh,
the 30th, 31st, I think it was, of January for the ZBA to meet, and they couldn't get a quorum, so they're meeting on the 15th for it.
Right.
No. And that's one of the problems we have is that the site plan review and that, and you got the duplication of hearings for the same issue. The building that they're taking, for all practical purposes, is going to do the same thing that was there before. We're just working the formalities of the zoning board and the planning board books.
Yeah, but the intent is different, right? The building is different.
Yeah,
So is there,
different use. But
it's a different building. It has to comply to all of the new regulations as of today. And I'm
Well-
just wondering whether there's a permit on that that's been issued to build a convenience store?
No, they took the building down. They took the building down to this point, and they're waiting for the permits to come back so they can bring it back up. He made the investment in the pad when he had a chance to do it. I recognize that.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether we're going according to the rules and regulations set up by the town. I know that.
As far as I understand,
at times.
yeah, as far as I understand, the construction won't go up until we get the permits all in place. Anybody else, anything else?
Yeah, what's the situation with, highway department, labor?
Oh, the highway department labor.
I expected to see it in the paper, but I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, we haven't had the highway department got a, contract, the contract on the highway. Highway department was settled at 3% and 2%, 3% for 1995 and 2% for 1994. We took the payment in lieu of use of sick leave. We removed that from the contract. We took the 108 hours that was sick and personal time, reduced that to 40 hours. We made the sick leave as needed based on doctor requests
2 days.
or doctor approval, documentation. Them 3 things are the only thing we did.
Does that end up costing the town more or less?
Cost the town 3% in salary, and for 1995. Total, it was taking cost the town less for 1995, but long range it won't, because for some reason 3% is in there for the year.
You've been making more cuts down the road. When was the last town board meeting? What was the date?
The last town board meeting was we had a work session.
January the 11th.
And we had a work session on the contract.
The last town board meeting, you made a weak apology for increasing the budgets and the different departments and increasing the pay, saying that you would talk to some people that were paying their taxes and they thought, well, that's just the way things are gotta be.
I didn't make a weak statement, I just said that,
Apology, yeah. That's-
no, not weak, I just said that this is what they did.
The thing being is I don't think that there'd be very many people before the 11th of the month that would be in destitute circumstances that would be paying their taxes, do you?
Say that again now? In destitute circumstances for the 11th of the month?
Yeah.
Huh.
The people before the
No.
11th of January that would be paying their taxes that felt the pressures of being overtaxed.
No, the people, no, the
In other words,
people,
what I'm trying to say
yeah.
is, I think you would learn a lot if you keep your eyes and ears open about what's happening throughout New York State and all the way across the nation. It's not raising pay and raising taxes. You're like the
Well,
people that's in power in Washington now and say that tax and spend, that's what you are.
well, the reduction we made in, the pay in lieu of sick leave not used was something like, it turns out to be something like $4,800 a year. We reduced, we got rid of it. It was a practice they had for 20 years. I took that out, or I didn't, the board did. I don't take credit for the board did.
You said it first time.
But the whole point of it is that's no longer there. And we took in also, tried to get a cap on health insurance, and we weren't able to get that. We, as far as I know, health insurance won't go up. But there'll be a 3%
You're
increase
talking
in,
particularly about the highway employees.
yes.
I'm talking about the whole town. Different departments that had their budgets increased and all the other employees that had their increases.
Well, the other employees had a 3% increase.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Tax
On the
and
average,
That's what
yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Listen to what's going on across the country. You might learn something between now and the next budget.
Well,
Taxes are
it's happening, pardon?
Hasn't the tax rate been reduced by
The tax rate reduced, but he's saying the cost of operation has gone up anyway. The tax rate is reduced, but that's for a lot of reasons. But we did,
In
yeah.
93, we had $1 billion increase in assessment. $1 million, not billion.
not million, right.
These figures get away from me.
You know, that turns my.
And last year was a few $100,000. And what do we get off? Nothing. I mean, it's like a...
Well, we have some other things that you don't even want to hear about. Maybe, I don't know, we were having them come down. We got the Conrail settlement that's coming down on us. We may have to contribute to a fund there. I don't know exactly yet. We just got the court order on it, the extension of June 15th on the Conrail settlement. There's Erie County and several other districts, school districts, want to challenge them, and this has been going on for about 18 years, but it's finally coming to a head. So we may be in a situation where we may have to consider some aid for a legal fee. It's going to have an effect on the town because of just the railroad siding we got through the town now. It's owned by Conrail.
You're gonna have the same thing with Niagara Mohawk and all these other companies that
Yep.
go after tax relief.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got, that's what this thing, that was,
Hey, Ralph. Ralph, why did you say Rosie too? I have a question, I have a question for Ralph, he's my buddy. Ralph, we have an opening up here. I wish you had put in your application to come and sit up here and make some of these decisions. You should have put in your application to come up here and sit here and try
You
to.
wouldn't want me on that board, Rosie, you know that.
Well, I would have liked to seen your application up here, because it's awful hard making decisions up here. It's
It is when you
easy,
don't
it's
understand what
easy
you're
to
doing.
sit up
No.
there.
there's some impact coming down with Niagara Mohawk, and there's some impact coming down with some other areas of the
Jim, how could
state. So.
I had a man come in paying his taxes a week ago Saturday, and he's complaining. I says, pull him out. Pulled it out, and that man didn't even pay $300 with highway, fire, and town. He had almost $400 for county and mandate. Now you take those three things to live in the town of Granby. Mr. Hubbard, I don't want to hear it no more.
That's what I say,
I don't want to hear it no more.
$400 or what, my taxes went up $1,000.
Well, go talk to the county, talk to the man behind you.
Can I interrupt this for just a moment? Can I
You know,
interrupt?
to live in the town of Granby is reasonable. It's the county and the mandate on your taxes, and I
Is
keep
there-
telling you over and over.
Does anybody else have anything else to bring before I accept the motion to adjourn?
I
And
make a
after I make a motion, I want the motion to
I'll
adjourn.
make a
Rosie, go
motion
over and
we
talk to Ralph. Second to it? All in favor? Aye. You can go over there and talk to Ralph right now.
You'll leave the camera.
Well, don't forget the school taxes. School taxes went way up. Well, that's the one up on mine. That's not too awesome. Hubbard's in trouble. Okay, Tony second. Ray?